Hey friends, and welcome back to another Majora's Mask project video. This will be the 6th in the series. Today, thanks to your comments again, we will be working on the Sense Mask, the Mask of Sense. It is a pig mask. There is a lot of detail in especially like the jaw and the tusk area of the pig. And I kind of keep looking at this one and I'm excited to get started on it. So thank you everyone who commented below my TikToks and my YouTube videos. My first idea is just the usual things. Get a mask base, extend it with some foil around the edges because the mask is quite wide, and then use some foil to shape the jaw and the tusks and the nose. I can then put foam clay over it, maybe do a couple of layers of foam clay depending on just how much layering I want to do, because there is quite a depth between the eyes and the eyebrows even, and then go from there. So without further ado, I will get into the mask making. I look worse in like every video that I make. I'm not wearing makeup, my hair's not done. I showered this morning and I haven't put any product in it, so it's floofy as fuck. But you're not here for me, you're here for my artwork, so I hope I don't disappoint. Okay, bye.
Starting off with our base, using the one that I got in the multi-pack from Amazon, I then grabbed some foil and started to mold the facial features. We needed to mold the nose, jaw and tusks for the mask. I also then grabbed my Stanley knife and cut off the nose like I did with the stone mask. This was to just make sure it was flat.
Piece for the nose, piece for the jaw. I think the eyebrow might be deep enough, but we will know when I put the foam clay on it.
I also used some masking tape to cover up the holes like I did with the stone mask. Then I grabbed my hot glue gun and started to glue the foil down. I actually had quite a bit of trouble with this because the foil just wouldn't stick to the masking tape. I eventually got it to work by overusing the hot glue, and finally the pieces were going into place. I could already tell just from the foil alone that it was turning out exactly how I pictured it in my mind. Though I did struggle with the foil, like I said, I grabbed more masking tape and tore it into a bunch of tiny pieces so I could tape down all of the foil features. In the videos, you may also me looking above the camera. That's because I had started binge watching The Rookie, so I was watching it as I was making the mask. Eventually, all the mask and the features were covered in masking tape, and it held on quite tightly, which I was pretty happy with. I did have to take the tusks off from the base because the hot glue didn't stick, and I ended up trusting the foam clay later on for them to stick into place.
I made the eyebrow just a little bit more broad, just to give more space between the eyes and the nose as well, especially because the foam clay will expand. But I think I'm pretty happy with how it's looking at the moment.
For the brow bone, I only used some masking tape which I crumpled and stuck to the forehead, and then went over it with more masking tape to then hold it in place. It kind of kept the shape that I wanted, so I just went with it. Next thing, you guys know I use foam clay. The easiest thing to shape exactly what I want, made easier by adding a little bit of water to smooth it down, and just basically cover everything I need. As you can see, I took the tusks off separately like I said, covered them in foam clay before sticking it back down on the mask. I then left it overnight to dry, and though it mostly turned out okay, there was a little bit of movement around the tusks and the mouth, so in the morning I grabbed more foam clay and just cleaned it up a little bit. Because it was only a little, it didn't take too long to dry. Then it was on to some painting. I had luckily bought some beige coloured acrylic paint from the dollar store not too long ago, so that was absolutely perfect to use for the skin tone, and I basically had to do 2 to 3 coats of that one just to make sure the mask was fully covered. I then mixed the beige, pink and a little bit of red to make up 2 different shades for the nose. I went over with the darker shade first just to completely cover the entire nose and get in all of the crevices that I possibly needed. Then I went over with the lighter tone when that was dry. I mainly kept to the top of the nose with the lighter tone and blended it down the sides so it was a little bit more shaded. and gave the nose and nostrils some depth. After that, I did want to coat the tusks as well, so I just painted that with a white paint. Basically, it didn't really do much but seal the foam clay. Once those features were dry, it was time to move on to some more details. I grabbed a black paint and started to paint the mouth and also around the eyes. I was considering just using a slightly darker beige and making it look like a shadow effect. However, the image of the Mask of Sense looks like it's just black around the eyes, so I wanted to stick with that. I also added white for the pupils and some grey around the bottom of the tusks for a little bit of shading. Similar to what I did with the Bremen mask, I went and grabbed an old eyeshadow palette and got some black eyeshadow and a brush and started to brush some of the eyeshadow on the mask. This also helped with some more shading and more details, and just darkened spaces around the nose that I wanted to darken. This was the mask pretty much done, and I could have left it there, but the perfectionist in me was saying that something was wrong. I let myself dwell on it for a little bit and tied the elastic to the back of the mask before realizing I wasn't really happy with the mouth. The shape of it just seemed wrong, and the way I painted it seemed wrong, so I grabbed some more foam clay and molded it to have more of a flat top. Flat inside? I don't know. Anyway, the next day, the foam clay was all dry, so it was time to paint that again. I went over with a few shades of the beige paint and the black to fill in the mouth. It didn't take me too long, and soon, well personally, I thought the mask looked a lot better. Once the paint was dry, there was only one more thing to do, try on the mask. And yes, it is wearable, but no, I can't see out of it. And now that is the Mask of Sense done. Please let me know if you like how it turned out. Feel free to subscribe if you want to follow the project, and let me know in the comments which mask you want to see next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!